Okay, Passover 101. Can you all see it? Can you all see it? Can you hear us?
Yes. You muted us, so you can't hear us, but yes.
Yes. Okay, as long as there's somebody telling me yes. Okay, so can you see me and my beautiful thing as well? Can you see both?
Yes, we can.
Really? You can see me and my PowerPoint?
So you're like on like a tab on the right-hand side with all the different people who are on the class, and then the PowerPoint takes up the main screen.
This is so exciting. Okay, so this is Passover 101 with Chava Tombosky. So I just want to give you a little like background, which is that, you know, I've been doing Passover, please God, for this is going to be 25th year of me doing Passover Seder. I gave a little bit of a prelude last time we got together at our Darren Greatly meeting. Some of you were there. I see a lot of you were not there. So just as a preface, let me just say, okay, before we even get started with how to prep for Pesach, my mother-in-law always says, dirt is not chametz. Don't stress yourself out. You're home 24/7. You're doing the best you can to keep as clean as possible. But the bottom line is you're not going out to work. You're leaving your home. You're in your home all the time. So don't stress out. That's firstly. Second rule I have, I was brought up by two different kinds of situations. One was the way that I was actually, 1 second, sorry, trying to help you here. Stop share. Okay, I'm gonna get back into it. So firstly, let me just say that my mother was, I was raised by Chava, so I went from having, you know, Passover Seder, which was super easy and just all the trimmings of Seder, and then chicken and matzah and chicken matzo ball soup and chicken soup and everything. And then like the next 7 days we did nothing. And then afterwards, my parents became more observant when I was like 10, 11 years old. And as we became more observant, my mother did everything like to the 9th degree. So the things that she would do would be like, she peeled every single vegetable. There were certain fruits she wouldn't even use, like strawberries, because you couldn't peel it. She juiced her own juices. She wouldn't even use sugar. Like literally, if it said OUP, she didn't buy it except for dairy, like milk and chocolate and oil. And that was it. So then I got married, and my husband said, let's go to our first 2 years. The first year I was at my mom's, second year I was at my mother-in-law. So I would say this is probably my 23rd Pesach, to be real. So the second year went to my mother-in-law's, and her minhag, her custom was she had everything OUP. If it said OUP, it was on the menu. So that was like a totally drastic different way of me experiencing Passover. Obviously, everyone's going to have their own levels of how they want to achieve a Passover experience. I have adopted a rule in my life, which is ease is first. Okay, so if you're here and there are things that you have never experienced before and you're like, oh, I can't believe Chava doesn't do that. My mother does this. Like, for example, I don't line my refrigerator. I clean it really, really well, but I don't line it. Some people do, some people don't. I don't. Hi, Min. Some people, I make sure that like, if there's food, like where I know there's going to be crumbs in the cabinet, I'll sometimes line it. Sometimes it just depends on like my mood really, but I'm not into the whole lining thing. I line my counters because I'm working on there and I'm cooking on there and I clean really well, but I don't make myself insane. I do use some OUP products, but as you're going to see in the list of things that I'm going to tell you to go get, very, very few. And that's only for one reason and one reason only. One reason is I don't like spending money on excess things that we don't need, and I don't like spending money on things that are not nutritious. This is an opportunity in my mind to reset ourselves and be free of things that are going to be bad for us. So you'll see on the menu, it's super healthy. very few things that I buy in the store that are OUP, just the bare minimum, because you really don't need it. And it's so overpriced anyway in the stores, and it makes your life so much easier. By the last day of Passover, right before the last 2 days of the Chag, usually is when Rabbi Robbie runs to the store and buys everything OUP because he's starving for crap. And that's when I have to, like, literally he comes in with like his bags of, like, you know, the marshmallow flap OUP and the chips OUP and the chocolate OUP. And I'm like, no, like, so, and part of it is because at that point, everything's on sale. They just want to get rid of it. And also he's starving because he isn't used to eating. He is used to eating super healthy, but, like, you know, we all have that, like, the munchies by the end. But, okay, so let's get started. So first thing you do for Passover is getting back to our screen share here, our slideshow, is we're going to clean to-do list, okay? I made you a cute little thing here. I thought it would be a good idea for us to understand what it is that we have to do, okay? Once again, dirt is not chametz. Great advice from my mother-in-law. Some people go crazy. We can get OCD, especially now with everybody cleaning for germs and all the things that we're feeling. That, you know, what is the everybody calling it, the invisible enemy. So we're conscious about our cleanliness more than usual, obviously. But there are certain things that we may not have thought about before Passover. So what I want you to do is there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 things on this list. Don't do it all in one day. Split it up in 4 days. That's 3 tasks a day. Not so hard, okay? Vacuum your sofa and underneath your sofa, okay? If you did it 4 days before, it's okay. Like, don't freak out. If you have your, by the way, quick, Mim, put your computer on mute so that I don't hear the feedback. Thank you. You want to clean out 4 cupboards in your pantry, in your house. 4 cupboards, okay? 1 cupboard is going to be for your dry miscellaneous goods. Very few things that you're going to get, but just a couple things that you're going to need, like your spices and your oils and maybe some snacks. Very basic. You need 1 cabinet for your paper goods and 1 cabinet for your pots and pans / like plates and platters and things like that. You're not going to be doing a whole lot of hosting because we're all by ourselves, so you're not going to need that much. Next thing is you want to clean out your one drawer in your kitchen, and in that drawer you're going to put your knives, your ladle, your spoon, your spatula, your peeler, the things that you're going to be using for cooking. That's it. That's all you need. Super easy, okay? Then you're going to take all your chametz. So the next question is, what am I doing with my chametz? I'll tell you what you're doing with your chametz. You're going to clean out the chametz of the cabinet that you're using, not all your cabinets, only the one that you're using. You're going to put all your chametz, going through it, making sure it's all organized. If you don't need it, if you haven't eaten it in 6 months, throw it away. Although now, maybe not, because we all have to ration. So I would say put everything that you have in your cabinet in a paper bag, seal the paper bag, and find a closet in your house that you're like, this is the chametz closet, okay? We've all been collecting pasta and rice and beans because of the ration. So my suggestion is don't get rid of it, don't throw it out, just put it in a nice paper bag. Then in your kitchen, 2 days before you're ready to start cooking, okay? Pesach this year is Wednesday night, so I'm gonna do my kitchen on Sunday. And the reason is because I want to not be stressed. I want to cook a little Monday, a little Tuesday, and then Wednesday be relaxed before the big Chag. Because every single year on the day of the Seder, I get exhausted because I cook and cook and cook. So over the last, 12, 15 years, I realized if I have, this year we're so lucky, we have a Sunday before. If I have a Sunday before that's not too far away from the date of the Seder, I give myself those 2-3 days and I just eat healthy. That's it. I go on an Atkins diet for 3 days, right? Before. So on Sunday, you're going to clean your counters, you're going to cover it, you're going to clean out your cupboards, and you're going to put in all of the things you bought from the store, because you're probably going to do your shopping the week before and keep it in a storage area. We'll get to the shopping in a second. You're going to clean out your refrigerator. Again, there's no need to cover, but if you want to cover, you can. And you're going to clean it really, really, really well, including the drawers that you keep your produce in. You're gonna kosher your oven. If you have a self-clean oven, you turn it on self-clean and then you wipe it out. If you don't have a self-clean oven, then you're gonna have to figure out a way to clean it with the blow, to make it paste with a blowtorch. But let's say you're freaked out about using a blowtorch, you can buy on Amazon for like very little money, a little tiny oven, like counter oven. It's not that expensive, and you can throw in like enough like a chicken roast. You could throw in a brisket and something like that if you don't want to deal with your oven, which is fine. You don't have to have your oven. But if you want it, if it has a self-clean, then you can do that. I have racks, as you can see. These are racks on top of my stove, okay? I throw the racks into the oven and then press self-clean. All right, not everybody can do it, but most people can. Next is you're gonna get your new dish rack out and your new broom and your dish towels and your dish pan, okay? Your whatever, your broom pan. And you're gonna wash the floor behind the oven and the refrigerator, very important. Put tape on the chametz cabinets that you're not using so you know not to go in there. Then pour yourself a drink because you just turned your kitchen over for Passover. That is the easy to-do list. You're gonna split this up into 3 or 4 days. So simple, I promise. Next slide. Okay, the next slide we have is we're preparing for the Seder menu. I don't know what happened there. There we go. We're preparing for the Seder menu, and this is what you need. It's all here. I'm going to give you all a PDF file so that you'll all have this list. The maror, the romaine lettuce, charoset, egg, shank bone, potato, parsley, wine, and matzah. My suggestion is next week, buy yourself a shank bone and put it in the freezer. They go fast. Make sure that you have wine and matzah next week. Everything else, the maror, romaine lettuce, charoset, and hard-boiled egg, and potato or parsley, whichever you use, you can buy like the week before. So let's say if you're turning over your kitchen Sunday, you can go Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, or you could even go Sunday morning and do that shopping. Your shopping list. Okay, so I have 3 places I go to before Passover for my shopping list. The first place I go to is my produce, and we're going to do the produce real quick. This is a list of all the produce that you're going to need. I go to either Trader Joe's, Ralph's, or Smart and Final or Costco. Obviously now things are super busy, but what I've noticed is that most places the produce is pretty good. You don't have to get this all at once. Make your menu, know exactly what you need, and just get it Sunday, and then replenish after, sorry, you're gonna get it on Monday probably, because you're gonna do your cooking Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, or you can you can even get some of it Monday and some of it Tuesday, depending how much you're going to be cooking. If it's only one person, you don't need that much. So just go on Tuesday and get what you need produce wise so that it lasts through Sunday. Then when Chava is over, you can do another produce run, okay? But this is like, these are the vegetables, fruits and vegetables that I like to use. As you can see, the fats like olive oil and vegetable oil, you can get them at Smart and Final. The miscellaneous like egg, sugar, brown sugar, sugar, and coffee, you can get at Smart and Final or the regular stores, Costco, okay? You don't have to get those things at the kosher market. They're gonna be more expensive. Everything at the kosher market, if it's, is just marked up. So I wrote you, this is the list that I get at a regular store, not at the kosher market. Are we all good? Any questions before I continue? Any questions?
Yeah, could you send out after this the slides that you're sharing so we could have that? Because I'm not typing fast enough to get all those things down.
I will make sure that everybody has a copy of this PDF file. Absolutely.
Thank you.
I have to try to see. I wonder if there's a way that I can share it. Let me see. No, there isn't. Okay, but I'll have it ready for all of you guys. We'll figure out a way. I'll get it to Ariella and she'll get it to you guys. Okay, we'll figure that out. Any other questions before I continue? I just want to check in with the group. Okay. All right. So back to our screen share. So as you can see, this is our shopping list, and I have pretty much everything that I use. All of these things, truly. Like the herbs are really important because the basil, parsley, cilantro, dill, rosemary, ginger, and turmeric, all those things are going to give your food flavor, okay? Your fruit is going to be the things that you eat usually in the morning or for dessert. So just think about, what do I want to have in the morning? What do I want to have for dessert? And I'll show you what the menus are in a minute. The vegetables, as you can see, I tried to put them in order of where I know I find them in the supermarket, so that when you take this list with you, it's like everything is kind of grouped in where they have it in the supermarket. I try to make it as easy as possible for you. So this is your produce shopping list. The next list is going to be, this is your kosher market shopping list. Now, I happen to have just put Western kosher because I thought it was cute, but you can go to any kosher market to get any of these things. Whoops, 1 second. Let me go back. I'm having an issue with my, 1 second. Okay, 1 second. Shopping list, here we go. Okay, so as you can see, I wrote down, this is how I go shopping, okay? I have my protein, my dairy, my seasonings, and my fats. Question? No? Okay. Protein, dairy, seasonings, and fats. Now, in my protein section, I always like to make a turkey roast because you can slice it really thin and then you can eat it throughout the week. You can also buy yourself a brisket, slice that really thin, and have that for the week. But if you're by yourself and you're alone, I would kind of stick with like a steak or things that, you know, you don't necessarily have to make a lot of. You could if you want. Chicken breast, cut up chicken, chicken drumettes. Oh, I put drummers. I meant drumettes. Let me fix that. Chicken drumettes is one of my favorite things. Hot dogs, if you're into that. I personally don't eat hot dogs. Actually, I don't eat any meat, so I have to like figure out what I'm going to do a little differently this year. Salmon, trout, lox, and ahi tuna. You can get all of that in any of the kosher markets. And again, you don't have to buy this all on Sunday. You can make your menu and then choose what you're going to buy on Monday or Sunday, and then make that accordingly. This year, Pesach is during the week, and we can cook on Pesach as long as you leave a flame on already. Great news, okay? Dairy, your Greek yogurt's gonna be in the morning. Your sliced cheese on matzah if you wanna make matzah pizza. Your cream cheese on pizza, your cream cheese on matzah. Your almond milk or regular milk or heavy cream, depending on what you like. I didn't know, so you can, you know, decide for yourself how you like to have that. You can also use the almond milk and the regular milk to make a smoothie when it's chalamoid, okay? The seasonings, these are the basic seasonings I use. I don't get anything else. I just get this basic stuff. It's not fancy, but because I use fresh herbs like ginger, cilantro, and parsley, and basil, and so forth, I'm able to supplement with not having to spend so much money on seasoning, which tends to be pricey and adds up. Your fats, like your mayonnaise, your whole almonds, and your sliced almonds, and your whole walnuts, you can get at the kosher market. You can actually probably get your almonds and walnuts, if it's whole, at Trader Joe's, I think. But find out about that. Just, you know, confirm. I don't know that for a fact. Then the miscellaneous things that I buy. These are the things that I always have in the house. Date syrup, and the reason why I buy date syrup is because sometimes I'll put it on my brisket, or I'll make a certain kind of chicken with it that is so delicious. You just take your chicken, you put your date syrup on it, you add sliced almonds, you add prunes, and you add dried apricots, and you put it in the oven and you let it cook for a very long time, and it gets nice and brown and delicious. I always make that the first night of Seder. You'll see the list here, but all these things like ketchup is what you're going to want, like, you know, to eat your chicken with or whatever, if you're in the mood for that. Your canned tuna and canned salmon. So the canned tuna, if I'm not in the mood for a whole meal, because it's a 3-day yontif, and I'm just like not in the mood for like another piece of chicken, I'll make myself a tuna salad, put it on a little matzah, have a salad, regular green salad, and that's it. It doesn't have to be so fancy. We're all alone. We're all by ourselves. We're all trying to manage this as best as we can. Canned salmon I like because I like making salmon patties, and I take the canned salmon, I add a little egg. If you do use matzo meal, you can use it. I've done it without it. It falls apart a little bit, but it's not so bad. And then you just, you know, kind of put some onion in it, shape it, fry it on either side. Delicious. That's also a nice lunch. The balsamic vinegar, red wine vinegar, and marsala wine, those I use to make my salad dressings. Don't buy salad dressings. They're filled with MSG, all different kinds of bad things like salt and sugar that you don't need. I'm going to teach you 3 really easy recipes to make your own salad dressings that are going to be super healthy and very, very easy. Of course, at the kosher market, you're going to get your wine, grape juice, matzah. My suggestion is don't make maror, just buy it. You're only doing it the first 2 nights. So simple. If you're by yourself, even simpler. If you're even a family of 4 or 5, simple. Of course, you want to have chocolate chips in case you want to make the desserts that I put in this thing. And you want to have quinoa is going to be super, super important to have some sort of like extra to fill your belly so that you don't eat a lot of matzah because it will make you constipated. It will give you stomach aches. You know, just eat the bare minimum. And of course, tomato sauce and diced tomatoes for certain recipes that I'll tell you about. Tea and your counter covers, you can get at Western Kosher. Most kosher markets actually will have your counter covers. So you just probably don't need more than, like, my kitchen is like a small, like, regular kitchen, like in Beverly Hills. Like, I live in one of those, you know, duplexes, and I don't have the biggest kitchen. I have like an alley kitchen. I think we use like 4. So if you're in a smaller kitchen, just 2. That's all you need. Okay, next slide. Where am I? That's your shopping list. Okay, the next list you're gonna have is your paper good and your utensil list. Now, this list you're going to get at either Restaurant Depot. I hear they're really packed right now with a lot of good stuff. You can order stuff online from Costco. Do it now. Order your Amazon list you can do it now. I don't know what Smart and Final is like in terms of paper goods. If you make it over there, they may have some things that you can start working on this list. Of course, let's break it up. So the first thing we have is the paper good list. Okay, so I put tins with lids only because some of you might want to cook in a tin like this, and I'll show it to you. Like this, okay? Personally, I really barely use these on Passover, and the reason why is because in terms of cooking in them, I just use it to store my food because I like cooking with a, I like cooking with a cast iron pot, and I'll go through the list of what you need for a few reasons. The cast iron pot makes all the food taste a billion times better. It cleans very easily. It's a nice investment. You can keep it for the rest of the year. I'll show you exactly what you need in that department. And also, I like using a cast iron pan, which I'll show you. So this is my cast iron pan, which I really, really love. And it usually comes pre-seasoned. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it at Macy's. Sometimes they have a sale. There's a list of exactly what sizes you need in your Passover manual that I made for you. And the reason why I like using that is it adds a little iron to your food. So you can boost your iron while you're, you know, sort of like, while we're all in our situation. So I like that. Also, it makes the food so delicious, and it cooks very quick, very, very, very quick. So you'll see the paper good list, and then the kitchen equipment, if you go to the next page, has a list of all of the kitchen equipment, and we'll take a look at it right here. You'll see this is your basic kitchen equipment. This is all you need, you guys. You don't need anything else, okay? Super simple, okay? You need the pot that I just showed you, which you're gonna use your soup in, or you can also get a smaller size, like a 6-quart size. You can get a 7-quart or a 6-quart or a 5-quart, okay? The 7-quart is what I have for a very big family. If you're by yourself, just get a 5-quart. You can make a soup in there, get 2 5-quarts. You can make a soup in there, or you can even put in a whole chicken, or you can put in a brisket with a bunch of vegetables and just throw it in the oven. So it's great because you can reheat it, and they're heavy, but honestly, so wonderful. Don't get the La Crusette, get the crock pot brand. The La Crusette is like $400 a pot. The crock pot brand or the Martha Stewart brand is around $65 a pot. You don't have to get this. It's just how I make my food, and I'm telling you, everything comes out so much better, and it's an investment. You have it forever. You can get yourself a wok. I don't have a wok, but they're great, and I suggest, like, I might get one just for this year because I've been doing a lot of stir frying just because it's so much healthier. So it's a little easier. And number 3, as you can see, where did it go? 1 second. Number 3 is your urn. Okay, let's talk urns. So most people do have an urn. Do you have to get a new one for Passover? Some people say yes, some people say no. Personally, I do not get a new one. It's just water in there and it's hot. So I don't get a new one, but some people do. And that it depends on, you know, what you want to do. You're going to need 1 peeler, maybe 2. Get 2 peelers. Smart and Final has the best. Knives, Smart and Final has the best. Get 2 or 3 knives. You don't need more than that. Number 4 is, the pan I told you. Number 5 is an omelet pan. Because Yontif is during the week, we can actually cook if you have a flame already on. Make sure you have an omelet pan. You may not be in the mood for a whole meal for lunch. You may want to have like a soup for dinner or a stew for dinner, and lunch could be an omelet, or it could be like omelet. Okay, that's what I'm going to say for that. And then number 7 is your friend. Okay, this is a food processor, and you cannot do Passover without it. They're not expensive. You can get them online for pretty cheap. I looked it up before I placed it. I think you can get them anywhere between like $29. They might even have some for $30. You don't want to get the 2 small ones, so make sure when you're ordering online that it's a big enough quart, like 5 quart, because you want it to be big enough to make like, you know, you want to shred zucchini if you want to make a zucchini, you know, quiche, or you want to put your broccoli in there, and egg, and a little of the mayonnaise that you bought, and onion powder, so you can make yourself a broccoli quiche. You can shred potatoes if you want to make a potato kugel, but I don't, because again, I'm trying to keep super healthy. So let's get to the next slide, which is my exciting new hack for Passover, which I'm going to institute this year. I'm so excited about it. I've been doing it at home all the time. This is my bowl hack, okay? It's all about the bowl. I actually bought a bunch of these bowls a few months ago, and I've been doing all of my meals in these bowls. Let's face it, we don't need to eat more than a bowl full of food. We just don't. Like, look at this. It's so perfect. So how do I do bowls on Passover? First of all, you can buy these. Kohl's had a sale, Amazon, but make sure you know what the size is before you purchase them. Make sure you always check the size, because if it's too small, then it's not going to really be as fun. You want a meal-sized bowl, 2 handfuls, okay? So I gave you a few different options of what you could do with your bowls. Japanese bowl, make your quinoa ahead of time before Passover. Saute some mushrooms and bok choy, and take the shredded chicken from the roasted chicken you made, put it in a bowl. Japanese bowl. You can add a little bit of soy sauce that you buy, kosher lepesach, that I think should be on your list. If it's not, I'll check. But that you can get at the kosher market. You can have a comfort bowl. Maybe make some mashed potatoes in your red pot, and then, or mashed sweet potatoes. Steam some spinach and mushrooms, add some grilled steak in your bowl. Perfect meal, okay? Breakfast bowl could be warm quinoa with cinnamon and almond milk. Cut up a mango or berries, have a little shredded coconut. That's your breakfast. I mean, we can all lose weight on this Passover. There's no reason for us to be eating like gorging ourselves. I'll get to the dessert bowl in a minute, but let's go to the salmon bowl. Is again, okay, so I put salmon pineapple stir fry. I didn't write all my recipes down, so please take notes, because I just didn't have time. I prepared this class today, and I knew I was giving it on Thursday, or Friday rather. So, and then Friday I wasn't feeling so great. So really today was the only day. So I didn't get to like write all my recipes, but if anyone has any questions, if you're like, I bought a salmon, what do I do with it? Just reach out to me and I'll tell you what to do. It's so easy. But what I like to do with salmon is I cut it up in chunks. I'll saute some onions or green onions. I'll saute some fresh pineapple, green pepper, some bok choy, add a little bit of fresh ginger, some of that soy sauce, sesame oil, or no, you can't use sesame oil in Passover. Can you, Robbie? No, that's kitnias. So just a little olive oil, and just let it kind of cook. You could even put a little coconut milk in it with a little turmeric if you want to make it more Thai style, a little quinoa. Delicious, a delicious salmon bowl, and that's lunch. That could even be dinner, okay? The last one I put was the ahi bowl. You could do pretty much the same thing, except don't do pineapple. You could do pineapple if you want, but you're just doing an ahi tuna. How do you make ahi tuna? Rinse it, squeeze a lemon, salt and pepper, 2 minutes, no more than 2 minutes on either side on a very hot pan, slice, you're ready, you're good to go. The last thing is the dessert bowl, and I always buy a very big bag of apples, and sometimes I'll peel the apple, I'll put it in the oven, I'll let it bake with a little bit of, spray it with a little bit of like oil, take it out of the oven, add a little bit of crunchy warm walnuts that you've sauteed with a little brown sugar in your pan, and that's dessert. Like really, keep it simple, guys, okay? I did give you a charoset recipe because this is the recipe that my mother has. This is the recipe my grandmother has. It's so easy. It's not fancy, but it's charoset. That's really the only thing from the Seder plate you're going to be making, like in terms of a recipe. The eggs you boil, the potatoes you boil, the romaine lettuce you're cooking. You're cleaning. The shank bone you put in the broiler for whatever 10 minutes. This is the one thing that you make, which is the charoset. It's 4 apples, half bag of walnuts, half a cup of grape juice, 2 teaspoons cinnamon. Put it all in your food processor. Let it go so it looks like a pate. If you want it to be a little chunkier, you don't have to let it go as long. You're done. Put it in the refrigerator. Okay. The next page is just a bunch of different ideas for food. Like I just kind of got inspired, like the turkey roast that I make. So let me tell you a little bit about the turkey roast that I make because I think it's great. Everybody loves it, and it comes out really, really moist, and you can just eat it over or freeze some of it. Make it as your protein. It's a good protein. It's not fatty, okay? So use pan first. I saute a bunch of onions, or sometimes I'll buy some anise, which is delicious with turkey, or leeks. Leeks are great. Put them in my pan, saute them. Take my turkey, rinse it, put in the sink so that it doesn't get all messy on the counter with gloves. Just like put all the delicious, seasoning that you want. A little cumin, you could put a little rosemary, you could put fresh parsley, slather it with some onion powder, garlic powder, put a little olive oil in it, put it in this pan. Cook it on either side for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Throw it in the oven, uncovered. Throw it in the oven covered, because add a little bit of water to the pan so it doesn't get too dry. Delicious. An hour and a half, you're done. Maybe even less. These are just some things that I thought were cute. Okay, we're almost done. So this is your menu. Oh, sorry about that. I didn't mean for this to be so small. 1 second, let me fix this for you so you can all see what's going on here. 1 second. I don't know how that happened. Oh, what happened here? Sorry, guys. Okay, so can you guys see this? One second. I don't know what happened. It was okay, well, basically this is your menu that I've given you some ideas. So your Seder menu, every year I make a dinner for the Seder. And every year we have soup, and then we're all full. We just want to go to dessert. So I think this year I'm just going to do a chicken soup. And I usually don't make matzo balls because I don't get my matzo wet. So I make what's called chicken balls. I take ground chicken, a steamed potato, which I chop, which I put in my, I just, smash a potato in there. Maybe some grated carrots, salt and pepper, maybe a little onion powder, and I add a couple eggs to it, make a ball, put it in the soup, and they kind of look like matzo balls, but it's a protein ball. My Ceylon chicken. So if you want to make a meal because you feel like you want to, I gave you 2 options, either a Ceylon chicken with broccolini or a turkey roast with mashed sweet potatoes. The Ceylon chicken is what I said before, with the date syrup and the sliced almonds and the dried fruit, okay? and you just literally put it in the oven uncovered, and you cook the crap out of it, and it's so good. Lunch ideas, again, are your bowls that I gave you: salmon, broccoli kugel with a salad, a chicken breast that you grilled on your amazing pan. Literally everything you make in this just looks gorgeous, okay? You can have it marinating with some fresh herbs in the refrigerator and a little olive oil, and then later put it in the pan right before you're about to eat it. Put it in your bowl with a little quinoa, voila, easy, okay? Soup ideas, these are the four soups I usually make throughout my week: either a zucchini soup, broccoli soup, a chicken soup, or a meat soup. So I'll just tell you very quickly, the zucchini and the broccoli soup are the same. It's so easy. You just take your zucchini or your broccoli, whichever one you're using, you saute it in the big red pot. Saute, saute, saute with a lot of onion. Then add some almond milk and a little bit of like broth, if you have vegetable broth. If not, you could just add water with some salt and pepper. Zhuzh it. If you don't have a zhuzher, you can put it in your food processor. Usually it cooks down so well that you don't even need to do that. Food processor will be better. And that's it. That's it. It's so easy. It's like just delicious. Salad ideas. So I always like to have a lot of salads just sitting in the refrigerator because there's not a lot of things to nosh on. So I feel like if there's like 5 or 6 salads in my fridge, then at some point, if I'm hungry after I've had lunch later, then I'll go into my fridge and I'll take a little salad instead of going into my cabinet. And like, there's not a lot of, I don't buy a lot of nosh, you know. I'll buy potato chips maybe, like for the kids. So there's just, these are some ideas that I have. Again, the sauces, dips, and salad dressing are pesto, baba ganoush, green goddess dressing, carrot ginger dressing. So the green goddess dressing, so easy again. Take an avocado, put it in your food processor, little olive oil, onion powder, garlic powder, a handful of basil or a handful of parsley, depending on what flavor you're in the mood to make your green goddess dressing with. Pulse, 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 little bit of water, little bit of mayo. That's it. You can keep it in your refrigerator, and every time you want to have a salad, there's your green goddess dressing. It's like being in the Garden of Eden. It's so good. Then pesto is, I like to have pesto in the refrigerator at all times because I like to put it on my chicken or on my steak or on my meat or on my turkey. And it's like a go-to. It's already all done. So what I do is in my food processor, I take parsley, I take basil, maybe some pine nuts if you bought it at the store. They're very expensive, so if you didn't, you don't need it. I've made it without it. Sometimes I'll add walnuts instead, or I won't add any nuts, which is perfectly fine. Lemon juice, garlic, fresh garlic. Pulse, pulse, pulse. Put it in your refrigerator with some olive oil, and you'll have that throughout your week to add to any delicious thing that you want to make. Let's see. Okay, let's go down. Here, the last slide is your dessert ideas, and then we'll have questions. If anybody has their mute on, turn your mute off, please. Okay, so these are the 4 desserts or the 5 desserts that I make throughout my week. I don't make them all at once. I make them sparingly when I'm in the mood, when I feel like I need something sweet. These are the ones I make. I don't do anything else. This is it. And the reason why is because A, I don't need the calories. B, I hate to bake. 3, these are the easiest ones I could come up with, okay? So my first one is the apple crisp. Now you're gonna say, well, I always use like margarine, and I always use like, you know, I always use like, what do you call it? Like oats in my, no. Okay, super simple. You take your apples. You're going to peel them, slice them very, very thin, put them in a pan. You're going to put in your food processor, like a cup of brown sugar, a cup of walnuts, a little bit of coconut oil if you have, pulse, 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 cinnamon. Put it all over your apples, put it in the oven. So easy. If you want to buy vanilla ice cream crushed a little pesach and keep it in your freezer, you can do that, okay? Apple crisp is really nice because you can have it for breakfast if you want as well. Chocolate mousse I wrote down, but like there is a recipe and it's so easy, but I don't remember how to make it, so I'd have to look it up and let you know. If you look up chocolate mousse on Google. It's really not hard. Frozen chocolate covered bananas. Freeze your bananas. I always keep frozen bananas in the freezer. Wait, I'll show you. These are my frozen bananas, okay? Have you ever bought bananas and then you realize, oh my God, they're sitting on the counter and they turn brown. I forgot to eat them. What do? This is what you do. Peel them, put them in the freezer. You can get little popsicle sticks at the store if you want right before Passover so that you can do this. Stick it in, put it in the freezer. When you take it out of the freezer, you're gonna melt some chocolate and some coconut oil. Boom, back in the freezer. Delicious. Now you have a dessert. I just took you out to Munchies. Thank you very much. And the last one is you could do the same thing with strawberries. You don't have to necessarily freeze the strawberries first. When the strawberries are cold, it definitely, like, it's much better. And then there is every single Passover cookbook and every single Passover website will have a chocolate brownie recipe. Google it. All you need is like cocoa powder. If you want to buy these things from the store, I don't make it always because in the first days, I definitely don't make it. I usually leave it for the last days when I'm feeling like, oh my God, I need a cookie. So then I'll buy a little cocoa powder and potato starch, eggs, sugar, oil. It's basically terrible for you, but it's delicious if you're in the mood for that. These are all the things I make for Passover. It's really easy. It's not hard. It's extremely, user kind of friendly. Oh, I had one more thing I wanted to show you. I forgot that I brought out. This is the seasonings that I usually buy by Perrig. And normally the seasonings that you have are probably needing to be thrown out anyway. Throw out all your seasonings, start again. I get the za'atar. Also, this one with barbecue, you can put it on any chicken or steak. Delish. It has a little bit of like an Israeli cumin-y kind of flavor. So if you don't like that, then don't get it. But I'll usually put it on, of course, my husband always says like, what did you put on the chicken? And I'm like, nothing. He doesn't look cute, but that's good stuff. Okay, so I'm going to stop here and just throw it out there. This is the end of my presentation. If anybody has any questions, I'm going to put my frozen bananas away, but you can unmute and ask me.
Something that I took as a self-note for us, for your list of things of supplies that you might need, you didn't put down any utensils for using the pots and the pans. So I just want to like make note, make sure you have like a ladle for soup, spatula for the pans. These are just like things that like you don't really think of. You're just like, oh, I have the pan, I'll make all this food. But like just from like a mental note that we made for ourselves and maybe other people wanted to make a mental note of.
Let me see. I thought I had put it down there, but I'll make sure that it's in that list as well.
Awesome.
Yeah. And that's and you can get that, like, usually they come in like a set of 5. All you really need, I'll show you what I got. And it's actually, I got it at the kosher market. So this is the set I have for milchik. It's this spoon. It's this spatula. I like to get one of these just because when I'm baking or whatever, like for chocolate or oil, this is like, it's really great. I got this on Amazon for like nothing. It came 3 in a package, a whisk, and a slotted spoon. So that's really all you need. You can usually they usually have them at the kosher market, a blue and a red. And I just keep it here. The other thing I do is how do I store my Passover things? So I get those containers, those clear containers from Target, and I just put everything in there and then I keep it in the garage all year long. And then when I bring it out, I just rinse it all. And it's usually, I think I have like 2 or 3 boxes. I don't even have that much. 25 years, I've never even bought plates. There's no reason. I think this year I might buy these bowls just because I feel like it's a nice way to eat. And I only need like, 7 of them because I'm not really entertaining this year. Right? What else? Any other questions?
Maybe measuring cups also, because you mentioned baking.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I'll add that to it. Measuring cups. That's really a good one. That's great.
Also, I don't know if I know you mentioned the PDF. A bunch of kosher bloggers put together a whole PDF of kosher Pesach recipes. My mom actually just sent it, so if it's needed or wanted,
Okay.
you can add that onto the event too.
I do want to say that the way that I cook is very intuitive. I don't have recipes ever. So everything that I make out, this is what I think, this is how my brain works when I want to go make something. I think, what protein do I want to eat? What protein do I want to eat? Okay, I want to eat salmon. What flavor am I in the mood for? Okay, I'm in the mood for like a cilantro pine nut kind of flavor. And then what vegetable am I in the mood for, and what, like, you know, potato or sweet potato or quinoa. And it's like, once I figure that out, I just put it all in this pan and I season it the way I want to. And it's really super intuitive. It's not like, I don't have big, huge recipes. What other questions does anybody have? Let me check my chicken pot pie. Un momento. 1 second. This is called multitasking, guys.
Woo!
Oh yeah, baby, that looks good. It's almost finished. So anybody else have any questions?
I just have like an unrelated. Oh,
What's that?
so like if we're by ourselves during Passover, like because I grew up the way that you were talking about in the beginning of like only celebrating the first day and then not really. So like, do people not use their phones for a certain amount of time, like Shabbat?
Okay, so the first 3 days of Passover this year is like Shabbat. It's a Yom Tov. So it's going to be a long 3 days. Are you all by yourself, Tara? You are?
I don't know if my parents will let me do.
Will let you stay alone?
No. Will let me do the full 3 days. I mean, like I did Shabbat by myself this time. It wasn't so bad, but just because of safety, I don't know. Like,
listen, bottom line is this: if you're growing and you're not there yet, just take your time with it. It's not like there's no. We're not in a race. We're like I said, we're in a very long. You know, this is a long journey. So just be smart and be kind to yourself. Be compassionate to yourself. Do the best that you can, and don't feel like you need to like make yourself crazy. You know, if you're not there yet and you've never done this before, I would say be really, really compassionate to yourself. You know, take baby steps. Baby steps is super key when you're starting something new.
thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else that's going to be all alone and not with anyone on Passover? Is there anyone else in the
I'm
group?
probably flying home. I'm not sure yet. I know a couple other people though, at least one who's also like just lives alone.
So, yeah, somebody else? Jacob, you're going to be by yourself?
Well, I'll probably fly back. I think my roommate just left today, so I haven't like processed it yet, but
Yeah. So you want to go be with your parents?
well, I feel like I get more done when I'm here, so I should probably go back.
Well, I mean, listen, if you can go back and you're not going to be totally all by yourself, it's probably ideal. At the same time, if you are by yourself, because you've chosen to self-isolate, which, you know, is extremely, like I said last time when we were all together, you really are my hero if you've chosen to do that, because every person that chooses to isolate is truly saving a life. So if you are making that choice, know that that our hat is off to you. Find different things to keep yourself busy. Books, meditations, walks. That's going to be your friend. And it's going to be very different than how you've ever lived in your whole life. But I promise you, it's going to be kind of nice. I think you'll find some strength in having that peace and quiet. Like you're going to live like a monk. That's what you're going to do. Like Jay Shetty, live like a monk. Anybody else have any questions about the list or what to do, or are you overwhelmed at all?
Everything looks amazing.
I have a question about koshering a green stove,
Koshering what?
a gas stove for Pesach.
A gas stove, okay.
I don't have a blowtorch, and I can't ask anyone to come and blowtorch my stove.
Right, so apparently Esther said that Rabbi Top said today in his shir, you can just turn your oven to the highest temperature to kosher it, like on broil, if you don't have self-clean, and just leave it on for a little period of time and make sure you clean the oven out really, really well.
Okay,
Like
with
it.
what? You have to clean it with kosher for Pesach soap?
No, just clean it with oven off, clean it with, you know, I like to use, I'll show you, I have this brush, which I love. And one second, I'll show you the thing I use.
Hi, Shoshana. I thought you weren't gonna make it. I'm so
It was
glad you're
super
here.
late.
Julie,
Your name on Zoom is Aruna Marie.
I use
Hi,
I use this Barkeeper cleanser, and it makes everything amazing with a little bit of water, hot water, and this. And if you have stuff really stuck on there, then use the oven off. But make sure that your you know, windows are open, because there's a lot of fumes in that. You don't want to be breathing that in. We don't want to do anything that's going to cause, you know, more unhealthy kind of living in this situation that we're all in.
And what about a stove? Can I scrub that and heat it up, or it's not?
Just clean it, turn on your gas stove. If it's gas, just turn it on once and then you're good. It's fire. So if it's electric, you can turn it on all the way and just leave it on really, really hot and then turn it off when you've koshered it. Somebody asked me, what do I put in my carrot ginger dressing? So in my food processor, I'll put some shredded carrots that sometimes I'll buy the pre-shredded ones from the store already. If you buy it before Pesach, you're okay. Sometimes I'll just use regular carrots that I've peeled, throw them in the food processor with a little bit of fresh ginger, not a lot. Ginger is very, very strong, so you don't want like a big, huge piece. You want it to be like maybe this much, like this much. Like the size of my finger, but less, like this much. Salt and pepper, olive oil, and red wine vinegar. Red wine vinegar is your base for all of your salad dressings, and you can do that. I also add a little bit of parsley just to give it a fresh kind of flavor to it. And I just keep that in the fridge, and I'll add that to a salad. I'll add that to any kind of nice fresh tossed salad, like celery, carrots, and I don't know, whatever. Kale, whatever, you know. Okay, so it's 8:30. We've been on for an hour. Does anybody have any other questions? If not, I'm gonna sign off, and if anybody wants to tune in on the day that I'm cooking for Passover, if you don't want to be by yourself, I'll have a Zoom set up so that we can have a little cooking time together. You can see what I'm making. I'll do 1 or 2 dishes. And meanwhile, I will make sure that everybody has a PDF file of what I just made so that you have your list. And any other questions?
Thank you so much, Chava. It was really informative, and we'll post any of the PDFs you put up.
Very good. All right, guys, we'll have a very healthy Freilich and Pesach. May it be a Passover filled with freedom. May you really, truly find the freedom in your life so that you're not stressed out. This does not have to be a stressful experience. This should be a very wonderful experience. This is an opportunity to eat healthy, to eat lighter, and to take care of our bodies and our souls. Tuesday night, I'm hosting another class based on the Daring Greatly book by Brene Brown on resiliency, and we'll be going through the different people in the our Jewish heroes who demonstrated resilience, and we'll talk a little bit about how you are practicing resilience. And so please tune in for that Tuesday night at 7:30 using the same Zoom code that you have tonight. And on Thursday night, Rabbi Robbie's going to be giving a class on Mashiach. Is he coming? What are the signs? What should we expect? It's going to be fun. I don't know if I'm going to make it to that class, but I think that we just decided that it would be better if he just gave it, because it's like hard to do back and forth. It's just easier, like he can plan it. So we're going to do it like that. And that's it. We look forward to seeing you guys this week on Tuesday and Thursday.
Thank you, Chava.
Mwah!
Thanks, Chava. Happy
Thanks,
Passover.
guys. Take care, everybody. Stay safe.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.